with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? How's everybody doing? Got some craziness happening here at the studio, but we are making it happen. Hopefully, everybody had a great night watching the Sister Wives foolishness. I have a poll question that I hope everybody asks. If you guys can see me and you can hear me, drop the one in the chat. I see some ones jumping in, so I know I'm good, which was not the case a few seconds ago, which is why I asked. There's a reason why I asked, folks. There's a reason why I ask, because there is that point where I'll be doing this and nothing is going on. Yeah, so we got through another episode of Same Shit Different Shovel. It's, I don't know, because part of me is thinking that I might be kind of hard on the show and he might have shit the bed just because it had such a slow start that even if it does kind of pick up as it goes, I think it might be too late. Does that make sense? I think it might be too late. Yeah, it's just kind of, oh, don't have that sister wife flavor. Don't have that sister wife flavor anymore. It just tastes the same, like the same old shit, just repackaged. And to be honest with you, and I'm give room for a little time for folks to be able to load into the room. But this is actually one of the complaints that I have just in general about how companies and corporations have been doing us for a long time now. Like, there was a time where in order to be successful, you had to innovate, you had to recreate, you had to be, try to be on the cutting edge, provide the best service, best product. If you can't provide the best, you want to provide more of it, volume, right? Hence, like McDonald's value meals. And somewhere along the line, and I have my own theories. Excuse me. I'm about to speak some truth now. I'm about to choke out. Somebody got a voodoo doll. Cody there sitting there with a little doll with a My Take on Reality hat, just poking him in the neck with a bobby pin. But maybe it's somebody at TLC. But we're at a point now where companies across the board are no longer interested in providing superior services or superior goods. They're more interested in their bottom line. And in achieving that, when you have cutting edge, you take risks, you come out with like quality service or products, a lot of times, one, it's a risk to it. You might not be as successful as you hope. You might take a loss. But in addition to that, it costs money for you to produce those quality products or services. And so as a result, they want to still make money. So what they do now is they just basically repackage old products and pretend like it's something new. They don't invest in their products or in their business or in their goods or services. They don't try to have better than anything else. They just basically try to do what everybody else is doing. And as long as it's the same, they're either going to buy us or they're going to buy them. They're either going to buy Coke or they're going to buy Pepsi. When was the last time Coke or Pepsi innovated any of their flavors? And that's my point. When they lost Shasta, RC Cola, the tremendous other soda things, all of a sudden it's just Coke and Pepsi that people are talking about. All of a sudden they don't give a shit. Remember they came out with new Coke? Tastes like shit, but at least they tried. Then we're going back to the original flavor of Coke where we're actually going to use sugar, right? Or Pepsi, we're going to change the flavor of Pepsi, and they went back. But at least they tried. Now they just come out with smaller cans. They still want to make the same money, but they don't want to. They want to make not only make the same money, they want to make more money. So instead of them trying to come out with something better or something that you actually want, they just come out with something smaller. They just make the packaging that they have, the customers that they have are just receiving less of what they used to get. And I feel like that's what we're watching on Sister Wives. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even just going to blame it on Sister Wives. I think that's what I'm seeing across the board when it comes to a lot of the reality television shows. This is why after Happily Ever After, I will not watch another 90 Day Fiance show. This is why. Because they're not telling any new stories. They're not coming out with anything innovative. They're not even being honest. There's no truth to what they're saying. They're just merely putting a show on and just expecting you to watch it. Here, dummy, watch this. There was a saying back in the day. Some of you might be too young for it, but there was a term that they used to have for television. They used to call television the idiot box. Right, because it was supposed to make you dumb. They prefer you read and this, that, and other. But you can find interesting things on television to watch, innovative things on television to watch. At least you used to be able to. But TLC is taking that, trying to reclaim that title with the shows that they're running out. They're treating us like idiots. You understand what I mean? Like, this is part of, like, I know it just seems like week after week I'm kind of harping on the failings of TLC and the Sister Wives and, all that. But it's just the point of, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and watch it and then get on here and do what TLC is doing, or what they have the Brown family doing, or what they have the 90 Day Fiance cast doing, or any one of the other TLC shows where you demand that the people lie in order for them to get a paycheck. You demand that they pretend like everything that's happening on this show is so interesting, it's so amazing. You ain't gonna believe everything we talk about. Woo, we showing you the world, and they not showing you jack shit. That, you know what I mean? And Jack just left town. Okay, two things: Jack and shit, and Jack just left town. That's what they're showing us on this show. That's what I feel like. Like the hemming and hawing, the backpedaling, the repackaging of old discussions. I swear to goodness, I watched most of this like so many times already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've heard these conversations already. And the conversations aren't like a fine wine. They're aging like vinegar. Okay? Because they're not getting better with the conversations. You would imagine if I talk to, like, because every human being, I think, in their relationships, actual relationships, will rehash conversations. It's just the natural thing. You'll be talking about something, or something that's pressing on your heart. You'll talk about it, you'll address it, and maybe you'll just keep talking about it, maybe to the dismay of some of the people around you. But my thing is, when I talk about stuff like that, I try to think of a new angle. I try to think of a different perspective. I try to add in new ideas to the already existing idea. That's part of the discourse process that I use. What I don't do is sit there and have a conversation about something, a bad relationship, a bad interaction, or whatever the case may be, and just basically reiterate the same thing I've been saying, almost like it's a rote line, like it's a line that's been written down, and it's just over and over and over. Oh, I love Robin so much. She's my special wife. I just love her so much because it's amazing to be with her because I love her. Like, I'm tired of watching that shit. I get it. You into Robin. We've been saying that shit for the whole time the show's been on. Well, everybody's been saying that. Did you into Robin, and you'll protect Robin above all else? You don't give a shit about none of the other wives. F them kids. Those are the other people's kids. They ain't your kids, because the only person you worried about in that house is Robin. We've been saying that from the beginning. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to repackage the same old bullshit and present it to us like, oh, well, guys, guess what? Cody has been in love with Robin the whole time. Isn't that amazing? Nobody could see that coming. I'm TLC, and I'm telling you guys, fresh off the presses, Cody has only been worried about Robin this entire time. We've known that. You know why? Because even though you may call it the idiot box and you're treating people who watch it like they're idiots, the truth of the matter is, TLC, we are not idiots. We're not new. We're not new. We're not sitting here saying to ourselves, Oh my goodness. I'm waiting for Cody and Robin to confirm what I've always thought. I'm not waiting for that. I think what I think. I have reasons for why I think what I think. I'm not thinking about it emotionally. I'm thinking about it logically. I'm thinking about it. If you ask me to go through the series, I can go through the series and point out times in which you've definitely considered Robin above everybody else. Last week, what he admitted that, oh, well, Robin, she had an office in her house. None of the other wives did it. They could have, but they didn't. Here's the thing. If the other wives had offices in their house, just like they had a bed and a place for you to sleep in their house, but you chose not to spend no time there. So why would they dedicate another room to your ass that you're not going to come and visit? Let's not pretend, because we're not idiots, dummy. Let's not pretend that if the only reason you were going over to Robin's house is because she put an office in there. It didn't matter what Robin had in that room. She could have had one of them sad-ass Christmas trees that Janelle and them cut off their land. God bless them. I understand the symbolism, and I was happy that Janelle even recognized that Christmas tree was sad looking. But she could have had one of those in that damn room. That room could have had cockroaches the size of Buicks. And Cody still would have been sitting his happy ass in there, brushing them off his shoulder, smiling and shit. Yeah, girl, you my quiet, pretty wife. You know what I mean? He still would have went, because it wasn't anything over there. It was a person that was over there. That's why you went. Again, you know why I say that? Because I'm not an idiot. That's why. That's how I know. That's how I know you would have had your happy ass over there, bruh. Like, I'm just, again, I don't mind the fact, I accept the fact that people will lie to you. Okay. But if you're going to lie to me, put some effort in the shit. Put some back muscle into it. Make this lie, put some handles on it, like, so you can carry this lie. Don't just bring a lie out and just expect me to, open your mouth. We're going to make you swallow it. I'm not going to swallow it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this shit was interesting, like this was groundbreaking television. You know what I mean? Like, it's not groundbreaking television. And here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. I don't expect it to be groundbreaking television. I used to watch. Look, I'm a child of the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Okay. We had shows and movies that were dog shit, like the storyline hit movies, hit TV shows. But the show itself, the reason why, and then when they try to go back now and remake those shows and movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they all fail when they turn them into movies. You know why? Because in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we understood that this is entertainment, and they're not trying to change your life or perspective on anything. A lot of times, those shows, the plot lines in those shows were light as hell. That's why it's very difficult for you to come up with a movie concept based around those shows, because the plots were light. They were character-driven shows, a lot of times crafted and curated around the stars of said shows. But for the most part, there's a reason why they don't work now. There's a reason. And I accept that. I used to go watch Stallone movies, Schwarzenegger movies, Bruce Willis movies, all the big blockbuster action films. I used to watch those. And you know what? I would go, like, when people say, well, how was the movie? I would say the same shit. It was good. I mean, if you're going there, you're just expecting to be entertained, they were good. If you were going there expecting this film to change your life or your perspective, you will be sorely mistaken. And to be honest with you, my approach to reality TV, I don't expect these television shows, these actors, or these storylines to change my life or my perspective. But I mean, at least make the shit entertaining. And you rehashing old, tired, worn out tropes, or you stay in places of safety. Safety is not, there's nothing entertaining about safe. You ever watch a TV show and wonder why, or a TV show or a movie, and wonder why everybody in the TV show or movie seem to be making shit decisions? Like, why does everybody keep doing, why did he say that? Or why did he do that? That's just such a bad choice. Why would that happen? You know why that happens? Because if they made good choices, they made good decisions, it wouldn't be a movie. Like, for instance, if you were watching any of the Friday the 13th, speaking of movies from the 80s, you watch any of the Friday 13th saga, the Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, etc., etc., etc. Any slasher film from the 80s or 90s, so heck, technically, I think 70s, late 70s. Any of those slasher films, they could have easily been solved with a dash of common freaking sense. Hey, you want to go camping? Yeah, sure. I don't mind going camping. Where you talking? Oh, Crystal Lake. You mean the place where all those people turned up missing? Yeah, probably. No, I'm not going there. Oh, problem solved. You know what I mean? I don't go to look. If I go to a bar and they have a fight, I don't go back no more. If I hear that there was a bar and there was somebody went there and pulled a wascally wabbit and pyong pyong pyong, you know, you'll never see me dark them doors again, right? That's how you stay out of shit. So, like I said, a solve for most of those movies, people turning up missing. Yeah, I'm not going through that town. What do you mean? That's crazy. I don't need to find a dude running around with leather face with a chainsaw or be on a damn on some camping ass trip. So every year, a group of kids come in, and every year there's only like one person to survive. Yeah, I'm not going there, and I'm definitely not taking my clothes off because that's usually when it gets you. But I feel like that's what it is. Like now we're just watching stuff, and you have to remove all common sense from what we're watching in order for it to be half decent. I mean, like I understand suspending suspending your logic and stuff. Like you put your brain on pause for an hour and a half to watch a movie. I get that. But this is supposed to be reality TV. There should be a dash of realism within this. But I just can't. I don't know. I guess I can because I keep showing up. I keep showing up watching it. Every week I think I'm hoping that they surprise me. But where are we at in our polls? Let's take a look at the polls. And we'll get started. Was this episode an improvement over last week? Make sure you guys click onto the polls. I think we have 314 watching. Only 169 votes. Make sure you hit that thumbs up too. Play a little something. Give me a little love because I, unlike TLC, I'm actually giving you guys the real deal. The hell is that? So the poll basically is saying, was this episode an improvement over last week? 17% of you said yes. Finally, some movement. And I can see that. I think that there is a little bit of movement towards something. I don't know what they're trying to tell us yet. Because there's movement, but it's nowhere near the direction. I feel like I'm watching a turtle trying to decide which way it wants to go. Then, of course, it was 29% of you said it was okay, but not memorable. I think that's fair. And then 54% of you said nope. Same recycled drama. Same shit, different shovel. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. And I want this to be like, it would be, and see, here's the thing. And for those who would try to criticize me for saying what I'm saying, here's the thing. As a content creator, I can tell you for sure, my life would be so much easier if this show was better. So people think that I'm just wishing that Cody and Robin and the wives fail because I don't like them and I'm a hater. My life would be so much easier for as far as content creation is concerned. It would be so much easier if this was a better show. I will be able to come out with content on top of content on top of content on top of content. I'd be able to talk about the show. I wouldn't have to go to X to hear what Madison was saying. I wouldn't have to try to stalk Janelle, Mary, Christine, or hopefully Cody goes and says something in the interview because Robin doesn't do interviews and she's not on like social media. I wouldn't have to wait for those things. because I would be able to talk about the show. And that's one of the key things. Like that's, and again, TLC interns, if you're watching this, go back to your big bosses and tell them that I'm telling you, this is a key sign that your show is failing. If people are taking more interest in talking about things that don't appear on your show than the actual show, your show is failing. And if you don't correct the ship, this bad boy is going down. It's going down hard. But let's get into it. Before we do, we had some super chats. So let's hit those up real quick. Brittany, the Mega Mod in the house. Mega Mod Squad in the house. What's up, Brittany? How you doing? $1.99 super chat. Robin had an office because the others had a budget. F out of here. Yeah, you know what? And let's keep it all the way in stack. It's not even so much, because I don't disagree, but I don't even think it's so much that Robin could do whatever she wanted to do. Cody was controlling the money, and he was making a home in his house. He considered Robin's house his house. That's his home. The other women, they were houses. They were his houses. But Robin was his home. And what he was doing was he was investing in his home. He wanted a nice office in his home, so he got a nice office in his home. He wanted additional bedrooms and stuff. That house that they bought, the McMansion, that wasn't because Robin had to have something nice, and I'm so putty whipped that I won't get it for. That was his house. That was Cody's house. That wasn't just Robin's house. Robin is the one that everybody blames. And that, to me, that demonstrates Mr. I'm trying to protect. We'll get into the whole I'm trying to protect Robin and I'm willing to fight for Robin. You're full of shit. Because if you were actually trying to protect Robin, you would have told the truth, homeboy. And you and I both know the truth. The truth is you wanted that house. The truth is that's your house. The truth is you allowed Robin to take the blame for getting that house. To this day, you call it Robin's house, Robin's house, Robin's house. That's your house. Because I bet you a dime to donuts, I bet you, and I feel real confident about this, if Robin would have came to you and said, I want only my name on this house, you never, ever would have went for that shit. If Robin would have came to you, that's the test for me. If Robin would have came to you and pulled a Christine and said, you know what? You did this for Christine. I just want you to give me the money so that way I can purchase this home by myself and put it in my name as my sole property. You never would have did that shit. You know why? Because that wasn't Robin's house. That wasn't Robin's house. And I understand. Oh, they married, James. Yeah, but even as married couples, you can sign some documents to say remove your interest from a home. Say that this house is yours, especially in the event of divorce or separation. This is their separate property. You can do that agreement. Oh, yes, you can. Post-nuptial agreements are still in effect, still optional if it's not covered by titling. So you absolutely could do that, but you would never do that. You know why? Because let's face facts. You didn't swindle, connive, and get family funds so that you could benefit Robin. You did that so you could benefit yourself. The sad, sorry, cowardly portion of it is that Cody consistently threw Robin's ass under the bus to protect his own image. I know we don't talk about that shit enough. As much as we all angry and anxious to put shit on the Robin and how evil she is, I'm here to tell you that Cody is sitting there letting her take the blame. He's doing to us. He's making us one of the sister wives. We're blaming one of the wives for something that he's freaking doing. You have everybody triangulating, so you have everybody mad at everybody else, but the responsibility and the anger and the vitriol isn't directed to the person who's ultimately responsible, which is Cody freaking Brown. Let's call it what it is. You know? That's Cody Brown's house. That's not Robin's house. That's Cody Brown's house. He didn't steal that money for her. He stole that money for himself. He's sitting there. This is the old Southern thing. Say he was throwing stones and hiding his hands. He said, "Oh, I don't know why everybody blaming Robin. Robin ain't had nothing to do with it. You're the only motherfucker. Look, you're the only one mentioning Robin's name, dude. That's how you know you in for the dummy do. Who done ate all these cookies? I don't know. Robin ain't eat these cookies. Robin ain't had no cookies. Robin don't even like cookies. Robin. You're the one throwing her name in every fucking sentence. That's why everybody think it's her. It's not just, oh, Robin is the evil one. It's Cody. Robin's father insisted that they buy Coyote Pass. Yeah, because that was a way for them to divert the money, get the money. Because once look, we're gonna break it all the way down real quick. Since they won't do it, I'm gonna do it. Since they ain't gonna talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. They move out to everybody had a house in Las Vegas. Go all the way back. Everybody had a house in Las Vegas. The houses were 2 of the 4 houses were shared ownership with Cody. Mary's house, because when Mary bought the house, they were married. His name was on Mary's house. When Robin married him, he added his names to Robin's house. 2 houses on that 4-house cul-de-sac, Christine and Janelle, never had Cody's name attached to it, meaning that Cody didn't have any interest or any financial incentive for those houses. He could, if they sold the houses, he could only get the money if they gave him the money. So when they moved to Arizona, all of a sudden they find a property. Yeah, let's buy a property. You know, Coyote Pass is so amazing. You know what that does? There's money in the house. They sell the houses. They're going to buy Christine. She demanded that they buy her a house. So they had it. Damn it, we'll buy Christine a house. He put his name on Christine's house. The only reason he took his name off Christine's house is because he wanted to buy Robin's house and put his name on Robin's house. So because he was taking a mortgage out with Robin for that house, he had to take his name off Christine's house. That's how she was able to get her house free and clear. But James, what happens to all the other money from the house sales that they had? Wouldn't that go into the family fund? Exactly. Unless, here's a flash, unless it was otherwise occupied, like for instance, in another investment. But unless it was otherwise occupied in another investment, like, I don't know, Coyote freaking Pass. That's all Coyote Pass was. It was just a place for them to park the money for them to be able to get out. Why do you think he was fighting so hard to keep all of Coyote Pass? Why do you think he was trying to finagle them so hard and stall them out and frustrate them out over Coyote Pass? Because he had already counted on that money. That's money that he stole and put aside somewhere. You know who don't like getting stolen from? Here's the thing. I'm allegedly, we'll say allegedly. But just in my experience, the people who hate people stealing from them the most, the people who hate being the victim of the crime of theft the most are thieves. A thief can't stand for somebody to steal something from their ass, take something from them. Even if it's the stolen shit that they got from somebody else, or you come and get your stuff back, they can't stand it. That's why he's burning up about Christine. Oh, I'm so mad, Christine. I can't say her name. Oh, I can't make my mouth. It's so dirty. Why is he mad at Christine? I think part of the reason why he's so mad at Christine is because she took something from him that he was planning on stealing from her. How you gonna run off with the booty? Just saying. Yeah, Kathy, I agree with you. He wanted them to get tired and leave. That's why he's been stalling them out for so long. He wanted them to get tired and leave, get frustrated and go home, pack their bags and go home. He expected them to, oh, okay, well, the hell with it, Cody. We just go ahead and take our lumps and we gonna leave. And I'm gonna say nasty things about you. Ooh, too bad. And I'm gonna keep all the land. I'm just saying. Let me give Brittany Not Brittany a little something. Uh-oh. Brittany Not Brittany. All right. Then we had YouTube is my time machine with the $5 super chat. What's this? What's this conflict they're setting up with Christine and Janelle? I know. Can you say storylines? Actually, I do have a thing with that too, because I think that there's, under every storyline in reality TV, there's a grain of truth. And here's the thing. I was going to talk about it in a little bit, but I think I can address it now because YouTube is my time machine is awesome, and we're going to talk about it. Let me find. And what's sad is I had to take notes for this show. That's how you know this shit was dry as hell. Because I was like, I'm gonna forget everything about this show. I ain't gonna remember nothing on this episode. It's gonna be terrible. Let me make this bigger. Because as you get older, all of a sudden you can't even, I have a needle. Might as well be a brick wall. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna get this thread through this thing. There's a needle. Like, I'm not there yet, but around in them corners. The whole thing with Christine showing, like, the whole thing that I had to say about that. I don't even know why I wrote the note, but let's talk about that a little bit. We'll go out of order as far as the episode is concerned. But what's this conflict they're setting up between Christine and Janelle? One, I think it's a storyline. I think because in every show, movie, play, book, whatever, there has to be a conflict. There has to be something. Everybody, it can't be a kumbaya moment. Everybody wants there to be kumbaya. Everybody wants peace, but that makes for boring whatever medium you're talking about. So there has to be some kind of struggle. The problem that I think Christine and Janelle will have moving forward is that I talk about it all the time. Like, eventually people are going to be who they are. People are going to be who they are. And if you have conducted yourself in a relationship in a certain way for so long over a period of time, even though you guys experience some change, right? Some upheaval. Christine leaving, going to war with Cody, Janelle eventually leaving, going to war with Cody. That created a bond. It's the old saying, the friend of my friend is the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? And that works until the enemy of your enemy who became your friend becomes your enemy. Okay? They're temporary friends. It's like politics. There's temporary friends, permanent interests. And when push comes down to shove, I think what we're seeing in a reflection of this, like a shadow image of it is that this is their story. This is the foundation of their relationship. They're getting back to basics. Like, I feel like I feel and I fear that they're getting back to basics. So everything is a competition. Everything is something to be fought over. Everything is about you trying to get favoritism or approval from some other third party that has nothing to do with either of you. Before it was Cody, now it's the kids and the grandkids and who they like more. And if they like them more, then I'm so pissed at them. The problem that I see with this, the problem that I see with this is that it reveals a darker side of Christine's personality, potentially, or at least it can be taken as a darker side of her personality, which is not as appealing. Right? Now, understanding that Christine is a person, so she has many different layers, she has many different many different things going on with her. She's happy, she's sad, she's angry, she's not perfect. Like, with all that being said, the reason I'm saying that it gives a different perspective is because when she sits there and talks about, like, okay, yeah, me and Janelle, we're gonna be competitors and we're going to compete as far as our business is concerned. We're going to compete as far as the time, attention, and affection of these other people. It's kind of showing a darker side of Christine. And I don't know how well that'll play because it goes against type, and I think that she has to be Like there is a point too where, like in Hollywood, or this ain't really Hollywood. I'm gonna be honest, like this ain't Hollywood. But like if you were pursuing like an acting career, for instance, you have to be careful about your brand and your image, right, and how you're presented to people, because the producers, it might be an advantage to producers to present you one way, but it could all but destroy your brand. Right. Christine is branded as the fun loving, carefree super mom who was super concerned about the family and the kids. Right. But in this episode, she's saying that it's not fair that her kids are moving away. And she's kind of questioning how good she is as a mom because all her kids are moving away, which we'll get into in a little bit as far as Peyton is concerned. But here's the thing. If I was going to play devil's advocate in that situation, I could look at it and make the argument that, Christina, people are moving away because you've expressed, at least publicly and on the show and different interviews, that your primary and main and some seemingly only concern is your relationship with David. And so kids, especially kids who have lost siblings, their family is moving all over. Like the family broke up because, let's be honest, when you have divorces just don't happen between the couple that's breaking up. Divorces happen to the entire family. It affects the entire family. So when Christine rightly or wrongly, left Cody, that affects her kids. Then when she gets married to somebody else, starts a relationship, and then eventually marries somebody else, that also affects her kids. That's a lot of changes for people to undergo. And then for them to have to deal with the loss of their brother, Big G's. That's, again, more changes that they have to deal with. So they may have to take a step back. And when it comes to Christine, she's a human being too, and this is why I say there's many facets and many perspectives of people, and being a human being, she's not just a mother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to say like, oh, I'm only worried about my kids, I do everything for my kids, but you're a person too, and your kids not only need for you to be happy, because if they love you, they want you to be happy too. But you also have to show them how to be happy. You have to show them how to live for themselves as well, by giving them that positive example of you living for yourself and showing them how you can move on and how you can move forward. Because if you're always reaching back for your kids and you're never looking forward for yourself and never looking out for yourself and never doing for yourself, then you're teaching them that this is how you conduct yourself in your relationships. So therefore, when they start doing it, when they put everybody in their lives ahead of themselves, how will you feel when you're sitting there watching your daughter or your son put their husband or their wife or their partner ahead of their own interest? How will you feel when they have family, they start to have kids, and they're putting their husband, their wife, their partner, and their kids ahead of themselves? How will you feel when your kids get lost in life because they're so worried about trying to find direction for somebody else? And so we have to show them the clever balance, which is I'm striving to make myself happy, and I'm also showing you that it's okay for me to be happy. And thereby, I'm giving you permission to go out and find your happiness when you get with your partner or you start to have kids. Your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations shouldn't stop because somebody got pregnant. You shouldn't stop living because you're having a child or because you're having children. So I understand that Christine has to, she feels the desire to live her life. Now, with that being said, I will say that it is kind of, just keeping it fair and balanced. Sometimes the way she expresses it, it does seem a little off kilter to me. Okay. Because showing your kids and your family that you're moving forward with life doesn't mean that you nix everything that you had going on and only focus on the one thing. So don't just focus on David. Like, as crazy as it is, like, I think that people can love in plurality. Like, it's not a like, it's not a thing where I only can love one person at a time and everybody else just have to get scraps. Like, I think you can love your husband, your partner, your wife, and your kids. It's not a choice. Like, I don't ascribe to the Cody Brown thing that, you only have one best friend, you only have one person that you like at a time. I don't ascribe to that. I think you can love everybody, and everybody has their place. Everybody has different places and slots on why you love them, why that relationship works. Even amongst your kids, it's that way. Like, you don't love your kids the same for the same reason. At least in my opinion, I don't think you should. Because if you do, then I question whether you actually see them as individuals. So, I mean, that's the one thing. So, even getting back to the first initial question, James, you talk too damn much. That's your problem. That's what it is. With Christine and Janelle, I hope that they're not having problems. I know if you ask them, no, we're great. We're great. But at the same time, one, everything that happens on the show, I have to question now because they have been lying since season 1, episode 1. They also revealed that they're also concerned about money and finances, and they're trying to get ahead. And they didn't lie because they were just trying to keep Cody happy. They lied because they were getting a paycheck and they were liking the money. And let's be honest, if they tell Christine and Janelle that in order to keep the show going and for you to keep getting this paycheck, you guys might have to create a public disturbance amongst each other. It'll be like wrestling. I pause to say that, but I have to put it out there. It very well could be like wrestling. Like wrestling, these guys will sit there and cuss each other, talk crap about each other. They have like wrestling episodes where people were pulling up on each other with the cameras rolling, of course, and they would jump them outside of places and this, that, and other and beat them all up. And then you find out these are the best of friends, right? It's all kind of a shtick, like the heel and the hero is the shtick. And so we have to be very careful about how quickly we jump on to the what they're saying and what we're seeing, because they have lied, and so there's no reason for me to think that they won't continue to lie or be deceptive with the presentation of their stories. I mean, it is kind of is what it is. But thank you so much. YouTube is my time machine. Also, we have Jody Pierce, Scala, $1.99 super chat. What's going on, Jody? How you doing? Happy birthday to Megatron. Have a drink for us, LOL. Yeah, Megatron. Cheers. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Megatron. Megatron always keep it lively. Let's get some hearts in the chat for her. Happy birthday, Megatron. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Megatron. Happy birthday to you. All right, enough of that. Happy birthday, Megatron. Thank you, Jody, for pointing that out for us. Appreciate you. Pardon my rendition. My voice a little froggy. We have Shanna Lee 8. Shanna Lee 8. $4.99 super chat. I wish we could see some confrontations or crazy. Yeah, right. Shit, maybe that's why the shit's so dry, because everybody's just tired and whooped. This is like watching two fighters. Actually, it's like I was going to say it's like watching two boxers in the 15th round, but this is really like what real street fights look like. Everybody's hot and heavy for the first 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden, they just kind of limp biscuit it. It's kind of probably like sex with Cody. But anyway, it's not like we haven't found out things like all those dolls that Robin has spent thousands on. Yeah, I mean, here's what I want to see. And thank you for bringing that up. Here's what I want to see. If y'all TLC, y'all ass looking for some content, let me give you Megatron, I is shot o'clock. All right, Megatron, take it easy. Thank you, Lane. But let's be real. If TLC was really trying to mine some of this stuff, would it be some shit you bring that up? Like they sit up here and cutting you for money, and she's spending thousands of dollars a month on dolls, and you saying to yourself, I don't know, I know we get paid a lot in TLC money, but I'm just a little curious. I know what you get paid because I get paid roughly the same thing. Okay. I know what you're making. This is like you working with a coworker, right? I know what you get paid. We do the same damn job. Why is it that I'm catching a bus and you pulled in a Ferrari? Explain that to me, please. That's beyond budgeting. Okay, I understand you might be able to get a nice little car. Maybe you got it on lease, or you found a deal, or you got an uncle or cousin or something work at the car dealership, so they might have hooked you up too. That don't explain $60,000 damn dollars for some dolls. Okay, just had your house rehabbed. Every time I turn around, you guys got brand new cars. Like I'm talking about, like the trucks and stuff they driving. The cars and trucks they're driving, these things aren't cheap. That Mercedes, crazy money. The truck that she was driving, the Armada, Nissan Armada, that thing is like an $80,000 truck. So let's not pretend like what's going on. Can we talk about like what the shit? Like if TLC was really interested in putting up some like conflict worthy storylines that we're going to talk about some real shit, that would be something that they could talk about. What do you ladies think about this? And what I would hope for, and this is why I say too that they're being safe, because they're spending a lot of time criticizing them for things that are either well known, over talked, and over discussed, like we've been talking about it forever, or it's just like surface level stuff. Nobody is really digging into it, not like you would think. If these guys were really, really pissed at each other, you telling me that you've been married to somebody for 30 years. You telling me you can't come up with one story, one comment that you know is going to push a button or throw a switch? I've known people, there's people I know, and I might have met them casually at a place, like some kind of event or, go do something. And I meet them casually. And within like 3 or 4 conversations, I know there's certain things I can say to them to set them the hell off. Okay. I'm that confident. Like, I talked to you 3, 4 times. I know there's some things I could probably say that's going to set you clean off. You telling me that in all this time, nobody came up with nothing? Like, these are people that you supposedly don't like anymore. You say little snarky shit, but let's get real. I mean, if I'm pissed at you and I'm ready to burn that bad boy down, oh, I'm throwing it. Like, you're going to hear about some jacked up stuff. Oh, yeah, let me tell you about Cody's feet. Yeah, we call them stinky toes. Oh, it goes even beyond that. Let me tell you about this one time where he came in there and failed. Or one time because he's trying to be the alpha male, the super sexy alpha masculine man who's just manly and doing man stuff. Let me tell you about the time that Cody was crying because he couldn't do his hair right. He came out with a fistful of hair talking about, it's all falling out. It's all leaving me, And you start banging on like his appearance because that's very important to him. It goes beyond like Robin, especially if you don't like Robin. Y'all not saying nothing about Robin? One, you get it, that's a twofer. But they're not doing any of that. So they're still staying relatively safe. And it's not even like they have to be nasty, bitter, or petty. You could talk about Robin's spending habits and how she's going through the family fund, especially Janelle being in a position where she could see where the family fund money was going. You could speak with authority about where the money was going. And it would actually behoove Janelle to speak of those things because Cody has implied that Janelle was the one who was stealing the money, or we'll say mishandling it. Right? That was the implication. Oh, Janelle was in charge of the money. She was in charge of paying the bills. And then after she left, I got the bills. I realized that the finances were a mess because she wasn't paying bills. She wasn't taking care of the things she was supposed to be taking care of. They've all complained that the family fund was nowhere near the level where it should have been. So if Janelle's not paying bills with the money and the family fund is coming up hella short, and Janelle was the one who was in control of the money, it doesn't take a math magician to understand that he's blaming Janelle for stealing and or mishandling the money. So if you're going to blame me for something as egregious as theft, and I damn sure wasn't doing it, and you know you were, then there's no way in the world I'm sitting here covering for your ass. And when you're openly trying to blame me, it's one thing if he wasn't saying nothing and you, I don't want to create no waves and I don't cause no problems. But if you throw the first stone, the hell with it. Not only am I throwing my stones, I'm picking your stones up and I'm throwing back at your ass. Whatever you plan on doing to me, I'm doing to you, only I'm doing more of it. So I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand. I'm with you, Shannon Lee. I don't get it. You got plenty of real estate to talk about, but we still talk about Cody Patton and how much Cody loved Robin and he's so enamored by her beauty. Or should I say, the booty? Like, come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing? You have stuff there to talk about. It's there. Sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, not sorry. Sorry I brought it up. Oh, well. You'll get over it. I'm over it already. Thank you, Shannon Lee. Appreciate you. Jody Pierce Scala, $4.99 super chat. If she didn't write the book, would we all feel the same? What if Janelle and Mary wrote a book? Difference? So, it seems like Christine is being the fall guy. Well, I don't think that she's being a fall guy as much because, to be honest with you, I don't put that much on the book. Because the book, if I'm going to be 100% honest, the reason I didn't review the book is because the book is actually based even like rooted in what I just said. The book is really forgettable. It's there. It's her story, and I'm not going to bash her or smash her because one, it's a money grab, and then two, it's her story to tell. I'm not going to smash her out for that. But I don't think that I'm being particularly hard on Christine because she wrote a book or because she's exposing herself. The only problem that Christine has with exposing herself is that the more you see of her, the more opportunity there is for you not to like what you see. And I think that's with all of them. Because again, I think that they're all flawed in their own ways. And it's just a matter of when the public is going to catch up to the fact that they're all flawed. But we've been supporting Christine, Mary, and Janelle in part, not wholly, but in part, because we disapproved what they were fighting against, who they were being oppressed by. So I think that in of itself, because I've talked before about like the relative nature of these relationships and how they play into the whole thing, like how they play into the whole gamut. So at the end of the day, Christine, Mary, and Janelle look a lot better as people because they're on a show with Cody and Robin. You understand what I mean? Like they look a lot better because they're on a show with them. If they weren't on the show with them and we were actually looking at them for them, then I think that, some of the support that they have may be different. Not saying that people wouldn't like them because I think they're likable. I think that they're likable. I just think that it wouldn't be as like the support wouldn't just be as blind and as strong. Because I think that we've been against Cody for so long that sometimes I feel like we give blind support to everything that they do, because we realize that they've been victimized, that they've been kind of subject to a lot of mistreatment, that we just want them to win, right? They've lost so much time, you know what I mean, happiness. They've sacrificed a lot for this family, and we just want to see them win. And in an effort to see that they win, we're willing to overlook certain things. And as Cody and Robin, even though they're trying, the TLC is desperately trying, and in my opinion, they've reinitiated their efforts to try to push Cody and Robin back into the forefront of this show. Because again, I've always taken a position that Sister Wives was originally intended to be the story of Cody and Robin's love story, and the antagonist to that love story was supposed to be the OG3. Not saying that they were going to be as evil and maniacal or seen as poorly as Cody and Robin are now, but they were supposed to be the ones who were bringing the conflict, bringing the drama, bringing the jealousy, because Cody and Robin were finding their happiness. That's what the show was supposed to be about. I challenge anybody. I know I say don't go back and rewatch, but if you go back and rewatch the first season, there's a reason why so much of that season is slated towards Robin, not just because she was coming into the family, but when they were talking, because if there was a question of her just coming into the family, you have to set first the bar of what the family was and what the family is, the cultural expression of that family. And the way that you would do that is by talking to people who are already established in the family. You wouldn't focus on the person who has never been in polygamy themselves personally, never really sought a polygamous relationship. Robin was 30 some odd years old when she went into the Brown family. If she wanted to be a part of polygamy, she had, especially in this religion and in this faith, in this culture, we talk about that a lot, in this faith, in this culture, in this religion, if she wanted to be in a polygamous family, Robin is well past the time that she could have been in a polygamous family at any time she wanted to be. From the time that she was, if she so desired, she could have started courting somebody by the time she was 16, 17 years old, been married by the time she was 18, had sister wives maybe on her first day of marriage or at least soon thereafter, if that's what she really wanted and she was so desperate to get it. Let's keep it all the way a buck. You understand what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I just think that, we've reached that point. Like, I think because, and this goes back to what I was saying about TLC and the production. They're revamping Cody and Robin's love story now. And even though they're pushing them forward, part of them building Cody and Robin up, they have to tear down the OG3. You got to balance it back out. You got to balance it out so you can give Cody and Robin some running room. So I think that ultimately they have a few things. Christine, Mary, and Janelle are going to have a few things working against them. One, you're not going to have just the evilness of Cody and Robin supporting you, right? Because you really, especially the more evil shit they do, the less reasonable and the less realistic it is for them to be in contact with. Like, because if I was hanging out with somebody, if my wife turned evil, I'm married to her. I have to go through the process of divorce, separation, leaving, separation, divorce. That's a process. If a friend of mine just starts acting like an asshole, I stop calling them. And if Cody and Robin start doing real evil shit to the other women, they could just stop. Why are y'all even talking to them? Why are you entertaining them? They got kids together. Well, our kids are grown. You can call them independent. You don't have to go through me, right? So you have that. So that becomes part of the problem. So TLC is actually setting things up so that it'll actually lessen Cody and Robin's evilness. And by doing that, you're taking away the relative relationship that the relative protection that Christine, Mary, and Janelle enjoyed because they were around that evilness. So I think when as they start to move away from the Cody Robbins story and how they impact OG3, and you're relying on the OG3 to sustain their own storylines, then you're going to see more of them. And by seeing more of them, there's more opportunity. You're going to see things that you don't like. And I think that's kind of the weird part where Christine is kind of at now, where people are seeing her and she's saying some things and it's just not rubbing people the right way. Or she's doing things and people are like, oh, I don't know. I thought you were a Karen person. Like, what happened? Like the whole dog thing. Like some people, oh, I understand the dog thing. There are people who don't. And so she took, like, PR wise, she took a hit. She took a hit with the dog stuff, Fair, not fair, it just kind of is what it is. The same way when Robin was kicking at the other dog at the Lehigh, she's still riding that shit out, But there are people who would look at it and say, well, she didn't want the dog to jump up on her, so she was trying to kick the dog away, or she didn't want the dog to tackle her kids or whatever, so she was protecting her kids. There's a million excuses that you could use, but at the end of the day, a lot of people don't like it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but thank you. Good point, Jody. And we want to be fair. So, like I said, I'm just trying to give a complete, fair, objective view of what's going on. I'm a person, so I have my own biases, but I try to do it without fear or favor in the analysis. So we're just trying to look at it for what it is. All right. And that doesn't necessarily mean, and again, because I say something about Christine, Mary, or Janelle, that doesn't mean I dislike them or I wish bad things for them. But I'm just being honest. And I think that that's also required, especially if you are conducting relationships. I think that's required for every relationship that you have, that you're honest, because ultimately that's one of the hinge points that we criticize Christine, Mary, and Janelle for all the time. Why didn't they leave earlier? Why didn't they recognize what Cody was doing and leave? Because they weren't evaluating where he was during the time that they needed to evaluate it. During that present time, they were so busy looking in the past and through rose-colored glass. He was so good with the kids. He was always there. He was such a good husband. I'm just waiting for him to get back. And because you're waiting for him to get back, that dude is long gone. And he has no incentive to become that man again, play that role again. And because you weren't doing your own analysis or your current analysis and being objective in things that you saw and honest with everything that you saw going on, you cheated yourself. And I think that's just that's kind of where I'm taking a perspective at. But yeah, I don't think the book really, at least for me, the book didn't make much difference, because like I said, I like the highlights of the book I remember, but most of that book completely forgettable. I thought the first book was more memorable, maybe because of when it came out. But this book, she didn't really reveal anything. It was just padded, in my opinion. It just felt padded for like you're padding it for pages. I felt like I was like one of them essays I used to write when you get in trouble in school. And they were like, write a 500-word essay on why blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I feel that this book was very, 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 very good. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt like some of the book kind of read to me. Like after a while, it just felt like padding for pages. And there's also a scary part. Let me give you a little something, something. As we talk about the book, or Christine's book, again, it does strike me that, and it becomes more pronounced, especially with certain things, because the book wasn't like truly revelatory in its discussion, because we didn't really learn a whole lot of new stuff, and it was just kind of like rehashed old stuff. The fear that I have with Christine, Mary, and Janelle is that, it's what you experience when you are doing any type of content creation, because that's what they're doing. They're creating content. You'll reach a crossroads when you're creating where you have to say, I can go right and stay true to myself, my message, and what I'm trying to do, or I can go left and do what I think the audience wants to hear, the things that they want to see. Now, if going right is scary, going right is very scary because there's no guarantees, there's a lot of uncertainty. You don't feel like you're doing the right thing. You always feel like you're making a mistake because, especially initially, it's nowhere near as profitable. Going left, you receive like instant, you know, approval. The incentive is there because it seems popular, but it's just mm. You go that left route, all of a sudden you're telling stories that aren't true, or you're embellishing on stories, or you're telling people what you think they want to hear. Christine, Mary, and Janelle must realize that the audience and fans have an appetite for hearing negative stories about Cody and Robin. There's an appetite there. So moving forward, I'm a little concerned. I do have concerns that some of the stories that they'll start telling about Cody and Robin might have more fabrication and truth, and I am concerned about that. I mean, I'll be if I said I wasn't, I would be dishonest. You know, I would be being dishonest. You know, because I just I think that like especially because it's hard. Like they've built their life and lifestyles on this show, on the back of this show. And then to be like, okay, I can either be true to myself or I can keep making this good money. I can keep providing for myself the way I've been providing for myself. I can ensure that I'm not going back to the place of poverty that I once lived in. Because once you start having shit, some of the hardest thing to do is go back and lose the things that you have. You know? Then we had another super chat, and we'll get into the wrap up of the episode. Unlimited Lipstick, what's going on, Janet? 279 super chat. Why the hell was he talking about his stank body? Oh, fuck out of here. Well, because that was supposed to be like his animalistic attractiveness. He's putting out, it's not stank, it's musk. He's putting out his man musk. And it's supposed to be driving Robin crazy. Driving her crazy because she's so attracted to him and he's so attracted to her. And they live in a honeymoon lifestyle right now. That's all. I mean, that's what he's trying to embody. Something that she said before. Again, this is basically the repackaging of an old idea or concept. When she came out and said that you got to make it like a honeymoon every day and the night and the week. And it's so beautiful. When that happened, my parents did it and I'm doing it in my household. And that's what the other wives need to learn to do because that's why I'm a better wife. Cody is taking that and trying to put it into the visual, into this visual medium where he's trying to show you that they're living this honeymoon lifestyle. That's all that was. Like, and to be honest with you, it's sickening because no nun said use deodorant. Yeah, right. First of all, you should have been here. Don't nobody. Did you know the power of smell is one of the most powerful recognition tools that we have? The power of smell. Like you can smell something like whether it's food or a person's scent or something pleasant. Like there's a certain odor. Like when I can still smell like my grandparents' house, my grandmother's house. You understand what I mean? I can still like my mom's food. Woo, woo. Oh, I can still taste it. You know what I mean? Like you get like there's a smell like this is highly associative. And under no circumstance, if you guys are having shit happens. And as you're in a relationship, the longer you're in a relationship, you're going to be going to the bathroom in front of each other. You're going to see some things that you wouldn't see when you were dating, like all kinds of stuff, right? It's just natural. But I think there's a problem. Like if you're that comfortable where you just knowingly know that your body is effed up, like how attracted are you to the other person? Like, I get it. Like, there's a comfort in that, but I wouldn't want my lady to, smell me and I'm offensive. Like, if I smell real bad and I was like, oh my, ooh, ooh, you're right. You doing that shit. You might like maybe you'll make a joke about it, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I smell like hell. You know what I mean? I smell like the devil's butthole. Like, oh, this is ridiculous, right? I wouldn't stand in the room and keep standing there. I would be saying that on my way into the bathroom to take a shower or to do something about the problem. Like, it's just like they're so desperately. And I think that what bothers me, because I like I said, this is one of the things that just happens in relationships. But they're so desperate to show their connection and their attraction that they're just saying stupid shit at this point. Like, it's unnecessary. And Robin feels it because while he's doing that, if you notice, she's not playing into it at all. She's not playing into it all. Like, some people might even have the you know, speculate that the reason she ain't playing into it is because she ready to bounce. And she's not thrilled with Cody's ass. You know, it's not all sunshine and roses over at the hoedown. Which, would also be a thing too, where, maybe that was a driver for him buying that house too. Because he's trying to. I mean, people are who people are, and if she like money, you might try to make some big money moves to impress her. Maybe that's another reason why he bought that house. Trying to lock her back in. But thank you so much, Janet. And we had Jody Paris, Scholar, $4.99 super chat. Did anyone else see her interview on growing up in polygamy? That is why I made my last super chat. It was fantastic. I did not see it. But like I said, I don't have any ill will towards Christine. But I'll take a look at it. So, I mean, at least she's doing YouTube podcasts or whatever. So that's awesome. But that's also troublesome because they never did super chat. Like, they never did super chats. They never did YouTube before. And the fact that they're feeling like they have to do YouTube now is again telling, to where they know that the story, like, this show is in trouble. They're trying to get the word out. So, and you know what I want to see? And even speaking of that, I want to see them go on a show, because I'll have to watch this. Like, I'm not making a comment about growing up in polygamy, right? Not at all. But I do want to see them on a show, like each of them, if they're doing interviews, I want to see them challenged in their interviews. Not just, you guys are really awesome. You're amazing. Like, your family is wonderful. Your kids are amazing. You guys you work so well together. And you really fell in love with David. Your relationship is so beautiful. I want to see somebody really ask them questions, like drill into like some of the issues and topics of the day. And I think that would actually serve them a little better than them just, kind of doing, I love my family, and it's rubbish that we all don't get along because we're all beautiful people and we're amazing. And we're so amazing. My life is amazing. We're all amazing. And I'm just awesome. Like, I want to see like a real interview. And I think that helps to cut through a lot of the, because there's a cloud that's hanging over the show. And I think that's something that, we kind of talk about, but we don't really address directly. The cloud hanging over the show is that they've revealed that they've been dishonest this entire time. So if you've been dishonest this entire time, then if you're admitting that you've been lying to us for 15 years, the show started on a lie and it continued to lie up until the point where you were no longer benefiting from the lie, then you decided to leave the lie and reveal that it was a lie, then everything that you say And what's worse is everything that you went through becomes the subject of question as to whether how bad it was, how serious it was, how realistic was it? Was it, bad because it was bad, or was it bad because this is just how you took it and it wasn't going your way? And that creates, so in order for them to get through that hard part of it, I think they have to do a real interview. And like, you don't get to tell me what we can talk about. Everything is on the table. Let's have the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're being served well by doing fluff pieces. Like you guys are so past fluff pieces. It's crazy. And if you really want to revive this show, you want to revitalize the show, you want to rehab your image from the damage that that revelation has caused, you have to do a real interview. Like you can't just, you're not going to smile your way through this. That's just my opinion. But thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate it. I'll keep an eye out for that interview. Thank you. All right. Yeah, so let's get into the some highlights of this show. So I know folks are like, I see some people are tapping out already. Like, James, you are crazy. I'm not sitting up for 4 hours with your ass, which I can understand. I respect that. So let's get into it. So there are a couple things that I really liked about this episode. The first and foremost, I talked a lot about the things I didn't like. Let's talk about one of the things I felt was a highlight of this particular episode. And I like the idea that they're addressing the subject of grief and grief management. How is, like, this is the scene or the section where Peyton was talking about why moving to North Carolina and why he's moving, why he's no longer gonna, why he's leaving the army or the service. He was in the army, but why he's leaving the service. I thought that was important. And he was saying that these are all things that he was doing with Garrison. And so you see the importance of Garrison to him in those circumstances and how he's trying to navigate that heartbreak, which is caused from the loss of what he called his best friend. Okay. So I think that is an important, I think that's an important thing that the episode did and that they talked about and they addressed. I wouldn't even mind more of that. Not necessarily like, I don't want to dwell on like Garrison. I don't want to use Garrison as a storyline or as a plot point to try to make money, but I think that it's an important part of it. That is a real part of your life and how you're dealing with this, right? And if it's too much for you to deal with, and I understand that too. If it's too much for you to deal with on camera, I understand, but it would be interesting. And I do appreciate Peyton, even though Peyton gets a lot of shit, rightly or wrongly, he gets a lot of shit. But I think that was very courageous of him, for him to be vulnerable in that way, on the show and present like how he feels. Because that's because when you pass like that, you're not just it's not just you or your immediate family, but it's everybody who knew you, everybody who was around you, people who relied on you, people who liked you, people who loved you. Like, so they have to work their way through that grief as well. So I think that was interesting. What else did I like? To me, that was like probably the biggest highlight. Let's get into just the brass tacks of it. Let's get into the brass tacks of it. Yeah, thank you, Lorena. I did like the part where Cody was saying like Christine's kids, and his brother corrected him and said, your kids too. They're your kids too. So I like that aspect of it. And somebody in his family and somebody in his life who's reinforcing the idea, notion that these kids are not just a responsibility of that woman. They're your responsibility too. Right. And I would even take it and say that it's not Like it's not a scaled emotion or duty. It's not a scaled duty in the sense that it's not, oh, it's 80% Christine's responsibility or the mom's responsibility and only 20% of my responsibility. You have to take 100% responsibility for yourself and for your part. And then she'll take 100%, whatever percentage she takes. Right. And I say that to mean this. When I say 100% responsibility, that doesn't necessarily mean flying in trying to steal custody or take custody. What I'm talking about is being present, being there. You do everything you can 100% to let that child know that you're there for that child. So if, like I said it on Saturday, if there was a point where during a roundtable, members roundtable, if there's a point where we talk about house and home, and last week where Cody was like, oh, I'm gonna give her a guest room. The whole idea is if that's your house, you're giving her a place in your home. You have a place in my home because you are a part of my home. If there's any issues that you have, my 100% responsibility is if you go home and David is standing in the kitchen in his drawers, or he's standing there bucket naked, you know what I mean? And his junk is out, and you turn on your heels, you can bring your ass home. Not to my house to stay, not till we figure out what's going on. No, you come home because you're 100% my responsibility. I don't care what the other person is doing. That's none of my business. What my wife does with our kids, that's not like her relationship is her relationship to maintain with our kids. My relationship is my relationship to maintain with our kids. Do they interact? Do they intersect? Sure, because I'm realistic. But at the same time, it's on me to make sure that I have a relationship with my kids. I can't rely on her to do that for me. I speak for myself. I stand on my own too. Right. And I would expect Cody to do the same thing. But what that revealed was, and even when he was talking about his father in that same conversation, he was talking about his dad, like, oh, dad was a manly man and he was hard. And the women would see him out there with his cowboy hat on and he would walk through the rain leading the horse and they get all moist in the places that and it was incredible because he was a manly man. Here's the thing with that. I think it feels, and this is kind of, I realize this is a little cold, but it feels immature. It feels immature. Like I sense a huge portion of immaturity on Cody's behalf, where he tries to categorize people. So you're a general stereotypical man, and that's what makes you a manly man and attractive. And you had these women when he passed away. He had 3 women there crying and loved him to death because he was such a manly man. Maybe they loved him because of the way he was with them. Because even though he was hard on his kids, there are people who are hard on their kids and have rough relationship with their kids, but they are decent enough partners. And if you have a partner who can overlook how you treat their kids, that relationship can work. That was one of the criticisms that, we were leveling towards the OG3. You guys were willing to have a relationship with Cody regardless of how he was treating your kids until he wasn't willing to have a relationship with you, or the relationship he had with you was being jeopardized because of his interest in somebody else. Then all of a sudden, your kids are there and they're, I'm leaving them because he wasn't treating my kids right. You probably wasn't treating your kids right for a long time. Right. So I think that is one of the things that we have to look at as well. When we talk about it. Like Cody was talking about his dad, and it was weird in a weird way. Like he looks up to his dad, even though he had a rough relationship with his father. He looked up to his dad. He admired his dad. And I think that the machismo, the macho-ness of what he revealed, and again, the immaturity of it was also a revelation, because he said something to the effect of, well, once you get these women were attracted to him. There's like a lust. Basically, he was saying that even Janelle's mom, when she saw him out there working the land or whatever, she lusted after him because of who he was and what he represented, because he was so manly and masculine. And Cody, of course, is maybe this is why he's always talking about being manly and masculine. Again, button that Janelle or any one of the wives could push anytime that they wanted to, make some content for the show through conflict. That's important to him. But even when he said that, one of the things that really struck me was, he had said that they were attracted to his father. And to me, it sounded like, and he still questions, like he doesn't understand why the women left. They must not have been attracted to me anymore. I mean, imagine that. See, because what that tells me is, in that comment, he was saying that once you get their attraction, you have their attraction. Like there's a permanence to once I have you, and you can't go anywhere. But there's not a recognition that, like, I take it from the perspective of every day that you're in a relationship, you're making a decision to be in that relationship. Every day that I'm, with my lady, I'm making a conscious decision to be with her in this, stay committed to her in this relationship. And every day she makes the same decision. Now, it's on my shoulders to try to be the person, be present, be sensitive, caring, loving, and everything else, compassionate towards her, to make her continue to want to make that choice. Because at any time she could turn around and say, you know what, I want something different. And Cody just presumed, or at least the way he conducted himself on this show, was that because he had him, they chose to be with him, they chose to marry him. Now y'all can't go anywhere. It's kind of like, gotcha. Like, you can't go anywhere now because I got you and I'm winning. And this is where you're stuck. So you can't choose anything different. And I think that's part of the reason why he lost his wives. There was also a part where Cody has said one of the stupidest things he had said a long time. And if you blank too fast, you might have missed it. But it was quick. He said Cody needs her to get over her bad relationships. And he was so mad at, like, she needs to just get over this bad relationship and then maybe we can move forward. And she just go out and be happy and stop being jealous, right? Just get over the bad stuff. Jeez, let it go. And the whole time, like right before he said that he was so mad at Christine, he couldn't even say her name. So you're not over the relationship yet, but you expect her to do it. And this is the hypocrisy that led to him being in a situation where these women made different choices. Because it's rules for thee, something different for me. And that's why these women made the choices that they made. So I think that was part of it. I think we had a super chat come in. Let me see. We had Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. He wants everyone to forget how he treated them. But 20 plus years later, he brings up a Letterman jacket his dad didn't get him in high school. Like, be for real. Yeah. When I was a child, my father didn't get me a Letterman jacket, so that gives me permission to treat my kids like crap. Like, that's kind of what I hear with that. I hate that shit. When I was a child, like, stop that shit. You're an adult now. Make different decisions. You take control of your life. Don't let your past dictate how your future is going to come out. But yeah, he's holding grudges. But again, in his world, he can hold grudges. He can remember. He can talk about things that upset him. But no, everybody else has to get over any pain that he may have caused them or any discomfort that he might have been a result of his behavior. And that's why he will find himself by himself. But thank you so much, Brittany. All right. And then let's see. Yeah, I talked about like the Cody, I'm so happy bullshit in the storyline. Tired of that stuff. it was weird. I get it, but Mary was doing the advertisement for Jen's bike shop. That bike shop, good for them. They got a business, and I'm glad hopefully it's working out for them. But I can be honest with you, that bike shop looked kind of sparse. Um, but I mean, they might be killing the business. Maybe they might be doing well. I don't know. Like it's like the hot spot in Paraguay. Um, the one thing, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Oh, the one thing I did want to get back to Cody real quick. Let's just finish out with Cody, and then I wanted to talk about Mary. Then we'll be wrapping it up. But Cody said something that was crazy to me because again, he was revealing like give Cody enough time, he'll say some stupid shit, and he'll not realize what he's saying. And this is part of the problem when you're trying to create or cultivate or curate your own storylines. Cody made it an unforced admission, like an unforced error in his admission, where he said that I moved. Why the brother asked him, "Why are you moving out?" And he said, "So much pain here at the Thanksgivings, all our Christmases, all our Thanksgivings." First off, stop right there. Your Christmases and Thanksgiving, you've only lived there for 5 years. You got kids as old as 30. You've only lived there for 5 or 6 years, bro. That's not all your Christmases and all your Thanksgivings. So that's a lie. Like, so you don't have this whole wealth embodied. Like, it's actually a good example of it was a film called Knives Out. And there was Chris Evans, the guy who played Captain America in the Marvel movies. He was saying that like he was saying because the rich guy, his grandfather supposedly left all of his wealth and money to his nurse's aide because his family were kind of dicks. So he was like, I'm cutting you off, leave it to the nurse's aide. And Chris Evans' character was like, she's trying to take away our she's trying to take away our family estate, like our family I forgot how he put it, but it's like basically like the family home or whatever. This is our family home. This is our place we grew. He said, your grandfather bought this place like 10 years ago. Say your family home, like your family plot or whatever. And I feel like that with the McMansion. Like, don't try to make this more than what it is. This is just a pit stop in the many places that you've moved to and that you drug your family to. So, like all the Christmases, that's bullshit. So, again, you guys are still lying to us, to our faces. You playing in our faces. That's a playing in our faces moment. But even during the course of that, he said he didn't do the whole Garrison thing, which I appreciate because I'm tired of him dragging Garrison into some bullshit. Like, don't tack him into a whole bunch of lies. It's disrespectful. But he said, I drive by Christine's house in Coyote Pass every single day. And that begged the question, you drove by their house every single day after you guys broke up and she moved away. That tells me that you drove by her house every day when she lived in that damn house. And more importantly, when your child truly lived in that house. And the question there is, how many times did you pull your raggedy ass truck over, park, get out, knock on the door, and even wave to that little girl? This is what they call an admission, you dummy. this is part of the reason why if you're on TV or you do reality shows or you get accused of a crime, you're like, I'm gonna go talk to the press. This is exactly why lawyers will have a stroke if they find out you talking to the press or you talking to media, you doing podcast interviews or whatever the hell. This is why, because you think that you're shoring up one story. Meanwhile, you're tearing down a huge portion of your potential defense in a different case. He's so anxious to make the case to the public and to the people and to the fans that he has to move from this house because it's too close in proximity to what used to be the memories of his family. But at the same time, when you go to custody hearings, you go to child support hearings, and you try to say that the reason why you didn't see your child on a regular basis is because of the mother and it was so inconvenient, but you were driving by the house every day, even by your own admission. These are words out of your mouth. Now, it's one thing if Christine whips out the map and say, in order for him to get to town, he has to drive directly past my house or get to the store or do something that he wants to do. He got to drive past our house. That's one thing. And that would be credible and that would be admissible and it would be a conversation. However, it's way more damaging if it comes out of the person's mouth because it's against interest. It goes against his interest to try to express that, yeah, I drove by her. I drove, not because at that point, it's not I drove by Christine's house every day. I drove past my daughter truly every day, and I never stopped in to see her ass. Or I only saw her once in a while. That's freaking terrible. That's terrible. Okay. Like I said, this is why most lawyers are bald-headed. I say rip their head, clean out the head, roots and all. Right. They be doing the Cody comb over. They were like, mother, why would you say that? Why would you? Wow. Okay. Did I tell you to say that? I didn't say that. Why would you say that? Oh, you listening to Robin? Oh, okay, then fuck it. Let Robin represent you. Because you finna lose this case. Right? You're not gonna lose this my case, you know. But yeah, he admitted that he was driving by our house every day. Like, that was crazy to me. Like, good job, Cody. I mean, again, is this like, whoa, this made the episode so worth it? No, because we already knew this. Like, it's weird that he's confirming it. Like, again, like right now, I don't think I'm in the I'm gathering information stage. It's just merely watching it to confirm things that we've already talked about, things that we already knew. Right? You know what I mean? So that's the weird part about this show right now. The one thing that Cody did say that I will make a huge deal about. Well, let's talk about Mary first, and then we'll end on Cody. Mary was trying to establish that she was, she was talking about like, oh, you know, if somebody like the internet dating and the current dating form, and I get it. Like I said, I'm a more senior gentleman, I guess, but I too like to, if I was going to meet somebody, I would try to meet them more organically because, you know, online, like pictures and all that stuff, it's modern dating. It is what it is, right? People like the convenience of not having to leave their house or what they're doing. They can just swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe and then see what they like and then try to, you know, hook up that way. The issues I have with that is that you lose a lot because ultimately when you're trying to couple with someone or you're trying to plural marriage opens, whatever, or you're trying to find a partner, you're not dating or potentially marrying or entering into a long-term relationship with a picture or a video. And because you're not doing it that way, let's be honest. You go through Instagram and you see the Instagram models or, you know, people on Facebook or whatever. They can turn themselves in a way, and I'm talking about guys and girls. They can turn themselves in a way, angle themselves in a certain way, use certain lighting to make themselves appear a certain way. You see them, oh wow, this picture, they fit, oh they fit, trim, slim, oh they got it going on, oh look at that booty, you know, looking like a big old onion. That peach is crazy, you know. Patayao, you be showing your buddies, oh no, she's amazing looking, oh boy, you so lucky, dog, you so lucky. Then you see her, why is all outside? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just the pictures don't match the reality. That's the thing. And if you're basing your entire relationship, the foundation of your relationship is based on how somebody looks. You know, the sad part is that normal people will struggle on those sites. Good people will struggle on those sites. Good potential partners will struggle on those sites because if you don't take a good picture or you don't present yourself in a good way, like you ever see somebody who takes a great picture, but you see them in person, they fugly looking. I'm talking about fucking ugly. Like, you know what I mean? Fugly. Like you said, oh, damn. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, there are people who take crazy bad pictures. Like, oh, woo, look like you got hit in the face with a broom handle. What the hell? But you see him in person, holy smokes. Amazing. Amazing. Right? And then that also doesn't account for what I call the sexy factor. Because there are people who just by the way that they carry themselves, just the way they carry themselves, the way they look at you, the way they talk to you, the way they move, the way they, just the essence of that person. You only get that if you see him in person, you meet him in person. That's something that can't be expressed over a camera, over a picture, especially with all the damn filters and stuff that they got now. Like I've done it with my thumbnails. Like you make put this person's head on that person's body, or you create a circumstance or a situation with AI, forget about it. You go there, you don't even know who you're talking to. Hey, it's me. Who? What? Who are you? Tom. Tom. No, Tom is a 6'5" pilot. / fitness model. You a 5 foot football. Like, what are you talking? Tom. Football with legs. Well, I mean, the picture was a little dated. You're like 20 years old. So I mean, I get that. But the one thing that she said during the time that Mary was talking about, like the new dating stuff, I get it. It's hard, but you got to kind of roll with what you got. So just because you're dating online, and that's the thing too, that I didn't like the presentation of it. Just because you're trying to meet people online, that doesn't mean that you stop trying to meet people in person. You just add that to the repertoire. So you just have more tools, not, one or the other. But the way she presented it, which came off like, kind of arrogant, but I get where she was trying to go, worthying up by saying that, everybody isn't worth her time. I agree with that. Everybody's not worth your time. Everybody's not worth, doesn't deserve your attention and everything else. I agree with that. But when she said that, I understand where she was trying to go with it, because she's trying to establish herself as a strong, independent woman who values herself. Because again, they might not like a lot of the YouTube comments or the X comments or Reddit or whatever social media commentary, but they listen to it. And in their own way, they do try to respond to it. Right? Fair enough. But here's the thing. I think it undercuts her case when she turns around and she talks about Cody and she says something to the effect of, Mary says there's a goodness in Cody, right? That deep down, he's not a bad person. He has a goodness. And she gives him the excuse of, oh, well, Cody's trying to cover up something. He's covering up something, like there's some pain. And to me, that's the latch that will open up a Pandora's box of problems for you in the future. That's the little ledge of hope that he will turn himself around, recognize his ills, and say, you know what? I'm sorry, Mary. I made a terrible mistake. I realized that this whole time I loved you, Mary. It's that type of shit that makes people say she's still holding on. And that goes against the very notion that you're respecting yourself, because the only way that you can continue to hold on to somebody who has clearly said that he has no intention of liking you, loving you, doesn't want to be with you. A nightmare scenario for him is the potential that he might have to share a room with you or talk to you for 5 fucking minutes. That guy is not somebody who you should be trying to hold out the light for. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep a light burning for you. This ain't the Motel 6. Okay? Don't put the light out. Blow that candle out and hide under the bed. Because when he knock you, treat that shit like it's Jehovah's Witness. You know what I mean? Just peep out the blinds and just keep it pushing. Right? This dude is not, he's not that guy. But when you talk about he might be covering something up and there's stuff deep down, there's a pain and a hurt, like that gives hope that maybe you could find a cure for his pain. Maybe you could find a solution. Maybe you could find a balm to heal him so that he can go back to being the man that you wanted to be with and the man that you committed yourself to. And that to me is probably more scary than anything else. Like I like you undid like all the work, all the road that she laid with, got to word thee up and like they ain't worth your time. And if they don't put in the time and blah, 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 and you say all these things, and then you turn right around and you say, but if Cody wanted me back, I would definitely go back. That's not you worthying up. Everybody doesn't deserve your presence, but somehow you're keeping a door open for this asshole. And he definitely not. You're saying that guys who don't know you don't deserve your presence because they haven't earned it yet. They're not worthy. They haven't done anything to you. This guy has. Well, we have kids together. We had a lot of happy years in the past. If you look at your life and go, like I said last week, the only way a successful marriage is when you have 30 years of marriage. You know what 30 years of marriage means? That means you didn't get divorced. That's what 30 years of marriage, that's all that says. I've been married for 50 years. That just means you never filed for divorce. It doesn't mean that you're automatically happy, that you know how to conduct a relationship, you know how to do a healthy relationship, that either one of you feel fulfilled and happy and content in your life and lifestyle and a partner that you've chosen. That's not what that means. It just means you haven't been divorced yet. And in this particular case, if he can look you in the face and say, under no circumstance do I want to be with you ever again. I never want to be with you. I would be happy if you left. That's not a man who's talking about a happy marriage. So that was one of the things that really stuck out to me. Like all that groundwork laid, you got to worthy up because you special and you got to have that self-esteem and just like conquer the world. Unless, of course, you're going to lay down and let somebody walk all over you again. I mean, unless, if that happens, it just happens because I love loyalty and I love, I made my word. I kept my promise. What about keeping a promise to yourself? Make a promise, make a vow to yourself that you won't let somebody do you like that, that you'll no longer have people in your life who don't feed your life, people who are toxic in nature and are trying to destroy you, that you won't let those people, you won't invite those people in to sit at your table and feast on your banquet and then poison your sustenance. Make that vow to yourself. Then keep that promise. Let's start at basics. Make that promise and keep that promise. So when you say, how can you be that conceited when you're yes, while also having your self-esteem on the floor? Well, I guess sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. I'm gonna pretend to be a thing until I become that thing, which is that is a theory. Again, that is a game theory. But last thing I'm gonna talk about, and then we're gonna wrap this bad boy up because I know folks got to get in the bed. I want to run like a 4-hour chat again, but because I'm a talker. The last thing I'm going to mention is the whole thing with Cody, where he talked about, the wives weren't happy because he had to fight so much to make sure Robin is safely kept. That comment, again, this is where lawyers just start ripping our hair. That comment is so loaded. Fight so much. First word, fight. Who are you fighting? You're talking about fighting your family to protect Robin. You're talking about fighting your other wives to protect Robin, to keep her safe. Safe from what? What danger did they present? Because they had opinions, because they were looking out for themselves, because they were trying to say, look, I'm not going to let her take advantage of me or my kids. then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's in danger because you guys are questioning her and I have to keep her safe. So I'm willing to fight you. Like, that statement was crazy. Bruh, whoever you're talking to, stop talking to that person. Okay? I don't care if it's Robin or whoever the hell you talk about. Stop talking to them. Because that statement was not only super crazy, it was super stupid. We all understand that you only cared about Robin. Again, this goes back to something that we're getting beat to death with during the course of this new season. I understand that you only cared for Robin. I understand that Robin was your home. I understand that even though you talked about how you had 3 wives, 4 wives, and you had a big family, at the end of the day, you had 1 wife, 3 baby mamas. That's not me saying that. That's how it's perceived. Well, I guess it is me saying it based on the perception I received from you and how you conducted your relationships on this show. You didn't treat the other women like they were your wives. You treated them like they were inconvenience in the form of children that you had with these people, and now you still have to deal with them because you have kids with them and you're vulnerable financially because they could take you for child support. So you're just trying to appease them. It doesn't escape me that, Cody didn't get flip, funny, fly, and become outspoken until a majority of his kids reached the age of 18. That shit didn't surprise me. All of a sudden they turn 18, and all of a sudden now, Cody, oh, y'all ladies ain't really helping me with my goals. I'm gonna have to start cutting hoes. That's what I'm gonna have to start doing because y'all ain't helping the player. Y'all in the way. That just happened when everybody started graduating high school. Funny how that works, right? Like, how many times have you heard people say that? Like, oh, I'm in this relationship up until the time where I'll stay with my wife, even though I have a girlfriend, and I'm gonna stay there until the kids graduate high school. Once the kids graduate high school and we go off to college, I'm divorcing my wife. I'm divorcing my husband. I just don't want to upset the apple cart. That's what it felt like, bro. That's what it feels like. So the idea that you loved your wife and she was the only one that you cared about, again, not a surprise. We've all said it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm so outraged and clutch my pearls, grab the fainting couch because I'm catching the vapors because Cody admitted to something that we already knew. I'm not outraged. I guess, and that's a problem too, is that I've reached a point in this show where I'm no longer shocked. I'm no longer, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I can't believe Cody said this. Of course he said this. Because he's just merely articulating what he's always felt and what he's displayed on his show the entire fucking time. Like, it's not a secret. He preferred 1 wife. He only cared about 1 wife. And when we say that he was keeping her safe, I go back to what I said before. It's not because she was so amazing, so wonderful, and he had to protect her because he was the manly man. It's because she was the fucking fall. Pardon my friends. I've been cussing a lot. I apologize. It's because she was the fall guy. She's the fall guy. She's the one that he blames for all the things that he wants to do, all the things he wants to say to the other ladies. He just uses her as a cutout. She's a useful idiot. In that form. She's a useful idiot. Yeah, she has her own hopes, her own dreams, her own machinations that she's coming up with because she wants to benefit. I'm not saying that she doesn't. I'm not saying that she's not trying to manipulate the situation. I'm just saying that I don't think that Cody's as dumb or as big a fool as he tries to pretend he is. I don't think he's as unaware as he tries to pretend he is. That's a weapon that's used. That's how Christine, like we talk about Christine walking away with the house by herself, and how did she get her house? And she beat Cody because she was able to keep her house. How was she able to do that? Because she played the dummy. I don't know, Cody. I'm so in love with you. I just want to be with you, Cody. Okay, yeah, you just saw that paperwork right there. Here. Okay. And right there, initial that there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, this house is just in my name. But I love you so much, Cody. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and file this paperwork. Then kabow, kablooey, kablam. She turns around and she divorces him. Oops. Oops. The reason why she wanted her own house was because she did want to have some protection. She was crazy to put his name on the shit. But at the same time, I think that she purchased the home because she saw it coming. She saw the breakup happening. And she was trying to protect herself by making sure she had at least something in her name when she got to Arizona. Right? This is not taken away from what I was saying before. Like he did, you know. But he felt confident taking his name off because he thought she was dumb. The same way Cody, she was playing like I'm unaware, not knowing, you know. The same way she did that, he's doing that. He's been doing that with Robin the whole time. So when he says I'm trying to protect her, again, this goes back to what I was saying before. If Cody was trying to protect her and keep her safe and keep her protected and safely kept and all that bull crap, then he never would have put her in a position where anybody could look at her and point to her and say that she did something wrong. You would look, as a manly man, your shoulders are broad enough to carry the burden of blame alone to protect your loved one. You would do that for, look, if if it was a situation where we were doing some stuff and my wife went out and did some shit, I would take it on me. And if I said, okay, you know what? I don't want her to take any heat for this. I'm going to take it on me. Then what I would do is I would remove her completely. If I'm going to take the blame, I'm okay with taking the heat. I'm taking I've done this shit. I'm taking responsibility. Okay, fine. She ain't had nothing to do with it. It's all me. You disagree with it, you come see me. You leave her out of it. She ain't got nothing to do with it. It's all on me. That's what you do if you're trying to keep somebody safe and secure and all that. But what cowards do is they sit there and say that they're trying to keep you safe and secure. Some shit start, right? You walking down the street, hand in hand, lovey-dovey, in your honeymoon stage. All of a sudden, the robber jump out with the whole mask and the Looney Tunes Kapowie, right? With the Yosemite Sam, and you instead of you putting your hands up and jumping in front of your lady and be like, all right, what you want, yo? Calm down. So that way you're between the threat and your loved one. I'm gonna protect you, baby. You take her, grab her, and pull her in front of you. Like, I'm keeping you safe. You somebody gotta tell the story. I'm calm and cool. I mean, it's only logical that I protect myself because I have that memory where I could be able to cite what the guy looked like and I'll be able to pull him out of a lineup and I wouldn't be intimidated. So if something were to happen, I would be able to tell the police exactly who did it. And between the two of us, if something happened to me, you probably couldn't do that. So that's why I pulled you in front of me. As some call it a human shield. But I was actually protecting you, right? That's what I feel like he's doing. Like, I'm protecting you, baby. I got your back. But he wasn't doing that throughout all the years. If anything, again, like a true bully, instead of him protecting Robin, okay, fine, the family's the family. But instead of him protecting Robin from the public, and from the fans who are going to criticize her by saying it was Robin's house. You kept saying Robin's house, Robin's house, Robin's house. No, it's my house. This is my house. I'm taking care of my kids in this house. I have to house these kids with Robin in this house. This is my house. This is the place I want to live. She doesn't want to live here. That actually went a lot further when back in the day, remember we go back in time when the show was way more interesting. And Robin was saying that she didn't want to move in. And she was, I'm praying to the Heavenly Father to find us an apartment or a house to rent. It's like basically a mega mansion that nobody wants to live in. And they're just going to give us like 7 bedrooms and like a reasonable price. I was praying for that. Remember when she was saying all that bullshit? That would have went hand in hand with him saying like, look, I forced Robin to sign this for me because I wanted this house. That would have played a lot better, and it would have gave her a lot more traction in that bullshit story. It didn't really work because Cody was like, Robin's house, Robin's house, Robin's house, Robin's house. And then she's sitting there saying, we're buying this for Robin. We're going to buy this house for Robin. And she's sitting there saying, I don't want this house. I don't want to buy this house. I'm holding off as long as I can because I want to rent a house that doesn't even exist. How are you protecting her? But in the true form of a bully, you felt like you couldn't beat the fans. You couldn't do anything to the fans, to the audience, the people watching the show. So you didn't want to tangle with them. So what you did was you picked on the people that you thought you had power over, which was the OG3, which was the OG13. You thought you had power over them. You thought you could go in there and say whatever the hell you wanted to say to them, and they was just going to take it. So that's what you did. So the people that you chose to fight wasn't the fans. It wasn't TLC. It wasn't the audience. It wasn't the people who watched the show and criticize Robin and come for Robin's neck every damn weekend. That's not who you chose to fight, because I never, not once. You sit there and you say some smug shit when you sitting on the couch by yourself and you talking to Robin. You say smug shit about the audience and how we don't understand and this, that, and other. You talk real slick shit when ain't nobody there to defend themselves or actually put a stop to it or say something back to you. You talk real slick shit when you by yourself. But what I've noticed is you don't, again, this is what I'm saying. You need to go on a confrontational podcast or do a confrontational interview, as adversarial interview, where somebody can actually ask you questions and you can respond. And when you start talking slick, they can come back at you. I'm tired of all this friendly, we all getting along kumbaya bullshit. Let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation. Get on a show with a real one. And then you start talking about that, oh, well, all fans don't understand what's going on in my life because my life is so different and unique because I was a polygamist. You gotta be a polygamist to understand how bad polygamy gets. I don't have to be a polygamist, just like I don't have to do drugs to know how bad drugs are. I don't have to slam my face through a plate glass window to know that I won't like slamming my face through a freaking plate glass window. Some shit you don't have to do to know that it's not for you. And it's probably not the best idea. Okay, so we didn't have to do polygamy to know that polygamy ain't the thing to try to do. Especially, like I said, I'm not even going to come out and outright say polygamy is horrible and it's terrible at its roots and its foundation. The way you guys do it was terrible, horrible, and rotten from the foundation. But I think that it could be done. Absolutely. But it has to be a specific kind of person. I've talked about this before. You have to be armed, be a certain kind of person yourself. And you have to be in a relationship with people who are of like mind and like securities for you to be able to progress in that relationship. And then you guys have to have certain understandings. There has to be clear boundaries. There have to be clear rules. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's not as easy as, oh, I just want to have a relationship with a bunch of women and sleep with a bunch of different folks. Like, it's a lot harder than that. Is it possible? Potentially. Is it a lot of work? Hell to the yeah. But then at the same time, one of the things I don't like is people sit there and pretend like monogamy is easy. Monogamy is hard work too. And if you think monogamy is easy, then bitch, you ain't doing it right. And I'm looking dead at Cody. If you think being in a monogamous relationship is easy, then Cody, your ass ain't doing it right. Because monogamy is just as hard as polygamy. The only difference is that I have to deal with the consequences of my dumb shit. I don't get to come home and cause a fight between my wife and then go off and go sleep with another woman or go stay at another house. I don't have that. I don't have that luxury. I don't have my wife don't fight and compete for attention from me and keep herself quiet and unopinionated when she disagree with something I have to say because she's afraid I'm going to spend all my time over at somebody else's house. I don't have that luxury. So if I come home and I create a problem or issue at my house, I got to deal with that problem and that issue in my house. And it makes my house very uncomfortable and unpleasant to be in. So I have to make sure that my house is running properly and to a point where I can enjoy it, she can enjoy it, we can enjoy each other. So I'm sick of the whole notion that, oh, polygamy is so hard and monogamy is so easy. Monogamy is hard as hell. I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool. Like I said, I keeps it real. I keep it real with me. So I'm going to keep it real with everybody else. 100%. I know my wife go out places and people looking at her or she sees somebody, wow, that's nice. Right? So I got to stay on my twos and fuse to make sure I'm doing the right thing so that she don't choose to be able to go off and get something strange. Monogamy is not easy. Polygamy, to me, the same way you could look and say polygamy is so hard and monogamy is so easy. I look at it and say polygamy is easy. If I get tired of my wife, I get to go out and date somebody else. That's easy. F you, that's easy. I don't have to deal with my problems. I have a problem with this one. I get to go get 3, 4 other ones. That's easy to me. I don't have to deal with my problems. I can go put it off on somebody else. Somebody else is going to make me smile, make me laugh, make me feel like king of the castle. When I'm not paying bills at Christine, Mary, or Janelle's house, I can go over Robin's house because I'm shilling all the money towards her and I'm taking care of her, keeping her living lovely. So when I come over to her house, she's nothing but smiles and damn giggles. That shit is easy. When I got 3 other women who are providing a lifestyle for me, not only for me, but for my girlfriend or my wife, that's easy. So, I mean, we could go back and forth all day. We could go back and forth. And you can tell me how hard you think well, we just did. We fake it to make it. We were sitting there smiling. But that's because you weren't honest with yourself. And like I said, if Cody wants to be serious about it, when push comes down to shove, you are cowardly. You were cowardly when it came to your relationships because you picked a fight and you fought and argued and struggled against the people who were on your team. People you promised these women that you were going to protect them too. So you're mad at them because you only protected 1 out of your 4 and you don't understand why the other 3 are mad? Are you insane? That doesn't make any sense. And I know, look, I'm not even going to sit here and try to pretend that Cody's going to come on here and talk to me and I'm the confrontational person that he needs to talk to. I know that ain't going to happen. That's partly why I don't give a shit. I don't care. And if you think that, and here's the thing, I'm going to tell you a little something about James. Here's the thing with James. I don't care. If you want to come on my show, you can come on my show. We could talk all damn day. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to compromise myself. I'm not going to compromise my integrity. I'm not going to sit here and try to placate you and be your friend because you coming on the show. You might blow my numbers up. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm not going to sit here and play the game with you. You need to talk to somebody who's going to talk back. You need to have a conversation with somebody who's going to give you pushback. When you come up with these little bullshit analogies and ideations about how you used to protect and rob and how you the soldier in the knight and the knight in shining armor, and you protecting the damsel in distress and all that bullshit, protecting them from what? Then in the story of Rapunzel, the princes, the handsome princes, Prince Charming and all them with Cinderella and Snow White, they protected their women from dragons. Are you trying to say that the OG3 are dragons? Because that seems to be the only people that you were trying to protect Robin against. You try to hide her back. Oh, I don't want her talking to people because she's too fragile and she's too shy and sensitive. That's what he said on Mormonism Live. But bruh, I'm on to you. I'm on to you. You know who else don't want the people that they trying to protect talking to folks? Abusers. People doing the most damage don't want the people they're doing damage to talk to people outside. That's who also don't want, I'm protecting you, girl. I'm keeping you safe. Because I don't need you out there telling stories about how I'm doing you. I don't need you out here giving your side and making people understand that it wasn't just you. That you aren't just walking around here with the magic cooch. They got everybody blowing, shooting damn rainbows and fireworks out their ass. That you're not that one. That most of the evil shit that happened in the Brown family was caused by me, Cody. That's why you don't want Robin out talking to people. Bro, I'm on to your ass. No, come on now. And since we gonna go ahead and rehash everything, and since we gonna repackage and repurpose every damn thing, we're gonna have a real conversation. We're gonna talk real shit. 100%. We're gonna talk real stuff. And that's what I see in this situation. You're not protecting her, you're protecting yourself. It's selfish and it's cowardly. There's nothing manly about that. Because, like I said, you picked on people, you picked on your kids. Kind of bitch shit is that? Oh, I'm gonna protect my kids. I'm gonna protect Robin from my kids. She's an authority figure in the family too. She can't say nothing. I guess she could say nothing because if you're wrong, you probably don't want to get called out for your stuff. But don't sit up here and pretend like everybody was just coming up with accusations and saying things out of nowhere. These kids have a reason for why they feel the way they feel. And whether it's right or wrong, they feel how they feel. Talk to them there. Address them there where they're at. Whew, this show, boy. But let's go through the we'll go through the 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 poll. Just got stuck for a minute there. You see that shit? Oh, scary. Go through the poll. All right, guys. So out of 303 votes, hopefully we got some good likes in there. Make sure you hit that like button, please. Thank you. Please and thank you. Was this episode an improvement over last week? 16% of you said yes. Finally, some movement. 16%. Then you had 32% that said it was okay, but not memorable. I think that that's fair. Then you had 52% that said nope, same recycled drama. And I think that that's also fair. Actually, I think number nope, it was the same recycled drama. And in the 3 of it was okay, but not memorable, I think that that is pretty much the same thing. So I think you might even be able to combine those in some respects and some logic train. So it might even be closer to 84% said that it was basically the same shit. Recycled drama, it was okay. Recycled drama was okay. They talked about some things. It was watchable, but all in all, this isn't going to be one of the episodes that, and by episode 7, we're not going to look back and be like, remember what he said in episode 3? Like, that's probably not going to be, that's not going to be one of the things. But thank you guys so much for participating in the poll. I'll close that down. Yeah, and make sure, all right, guys, 191 likes. Let's get those likes up if you guys don't mind. Make sure you come back because on Tuesday night, we're going to have the call-in show where you guys give your perspective on what you saw in this episode. We might talk about some additional things. I might throw some more questions because, again, a lot of these episodes aren't really chocked full of information or new content really to be addressed. So I just want to make sure that we do that. Then we had Lizzie. Let me do unlimited lipstick 279 super chat. James, your Cody voice is chef's kiss. Thank you very much. I've been working on it. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Wonderful one. And then we had Lizzie B, who gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Make sure you guys check us out on Saturday. I was going to try to do a pre-show watch for the members, but that did not work out on my computer. My computer was not having it. So I got to figure out a workaround for that. But thank you so much, Lizzie B. But make sure you check us out on the Saturday morning roundtables. We do it. We talk about a lot of stuff. It's awesome. Have a lot of fun. Get some new information. We talk about sister wives. It's rooted in sister wives, but we talk about the conversation is a lot more expansive than that. But thank you very much, Lizzie B. I appreciate it. Let me give you a little something. All right, Lizzie B is one of the mega mods. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. She dropped a little comment in there. I want to put it up. Highlight it. There you go. If you stayed until the end, you are the real OG. Real OG, triple OG. Awesomeness. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. That's awesome. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys. On Saturday, I hate mornings. It starts. We start at noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure what time that is for everybody, but we had a great time. But Megatron, let's get some more hearts in the chat for Megatron with celebrating her, commemorating her birthday, her life day, living that life. Some celebrations. Put some celebrations. Happy birthday, Megatron. Uh, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Again, like a lot of the sister wife stuff. It's not that I'm angry at the ladies or you know, I don't say I'm not angry at TLC. I'm not angry. It's just disappointed because they have an opportunity to talk about things and express things because they have such a large platform and they have tremendous resources that they could express uh, different things. One thing I did want to touch on, I think that the reintroduction of Joe Darger and the Dargers, watch it, watch it, because they very well, Sister Wives, they're going to try to replace Sister Wives with something, and they need a new polygamy show. So it would not surprise me in the least if the Dargers get rolled out with their own show. No surprises. I wouldn't be surprised at all to find out if I got a tweet or if I saw something from the Sun that said Joe Darger was in negotiations with TLC to start his own sister wife show. I would have zero surprises. I would be zero surprised on that because the way they're doing it, this is how you pitch. This is how you pitch shows. You know, oh yeah, did I mention Dargers? They learn to do polygamy perfectly. They're so good at polygamy. Christine, you're either an architect or a fireman, and Joe Darger is an architect. He plans and he structured everything, or you're a fireman like Cody, and you're just putting out fires. So he would be great to watch if you want to find out how polygamy could actually work. That's where I think they're going to try to go with it. They're going to try to find a family that's pseudo successful in polygamy and roll those folks out. And the reason I say that is because quiet is kept. The Dargers were actually in competition with the Brown family. There were for sure there were at least 3 families that have been presented on TLC that have been rolled out as polygamy shows that were in running for Sister Wives. Before the Brown family was selected, it was the Browns. Obviously, they were selected. The Dargers, and then the My Five Wives. Brady. So you had Brady's family from My Five Wives. They were also Brady Williams. They were also in contention for Sister Wives. So they tried My Five Wives. They got picked up for a show. So I would not be surprised if you have something like Following the Dargers or whatever. The problem they have is they don't really have young kids, but they do have wives who were sisters. You have a wife. I think they were friendly, and then Darger married both of his wives at the same day. His first 2 wives he married on the same day, and then he married one of those wives' twin sister years later. He married her. So I think they might try to roll him out. So don't be surprised if you start seeing advertisements for the Darger spinoff, Sister Wives spinoff show. Just wanted to make that quick thing. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for so long. I went a little longer than I thought I was going to. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you come back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This gives you guys an opportunity to watch the show. I know some of you might not have access to the show until the following day because of TLC's dumbass guidelines. Yeah, now that our audience is getting smaller, let's make it more difficult for people to watch the show. Yeah, that'll work. Now that we're just rehashing and retelling the same old story, dried up storylines, why don't we try to charge people more to watch the shit? Yeah. and make it harder for them to see it. Yeah, that's a great business plan. So that's kind of where we are now. But this gives everybody an opportunity to watch the show. You guys get to call in and tell me what you think about this week's episode. All right. And then, as always, we have SpeakPipe available, which is for everybody to be able to call in. I want to try to create as many avenues or pathways for you to be involved with the show as possible. SpeakPipe is a great way for you to leave a message. You call SpeakPipe, or you hit the link, speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality. You hit that link, you can leave a message. The beautiful thing about SpeakPipe, you don't have to leave your name. You can do it anonymous. You can put it through, listen to your message. If you don't like the way it sounds, you don't like what you said, you want to organize a little better, you can just delete it and then go back and do it again until you're satisfied with it. But once you send it in, I'll even go this far. If you send one in, you think about it, be like, I don't want to say that or whatever, hit me back up on the SpeakPipe. I usually try to finalize them by Thursday, right before the show. So if you like, James, don't play my SpeakPipe, I'll go ahead and take it off. It's not a worry. This is not a gotcha moment. It's just merely an opportunity for you guys to have your voices heard. All right. But thank you so much. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thank you for letting me rant and rave like a lunatic. I appreciate you. You guys are better than therapy in some respects. Got to get it off your chest. You don't want to carry this heat around with you all week. You know what I mean? Makes you old and ugly. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, or at least my show. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. All right. Well, thank you so much. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to the folks who left super chats. We have Brittany Not Brittany. What? YouTube is my time machine. Jody Periscala. Shannon Lee B. Or Shannon Lee 8. Sorry. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Unlimited Lipstick, Janet. Then we had Lizzie B, who gifted a My Take on Reality membership. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Next week, I'm going to give 5 My Take on Reality memberships. So make sure you come back next week, and we'll try to get you guys in. All right? But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And as always, I want to make sure I give a special shout out to the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, and Caramel Cuties. Thank you guys for holding it down for me. And thanks for staying so chill in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. My name is James. That's my take. And this has been My Take on Reality. And I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH.